There are consequences for being an idiot, and nothing makes that clearer than conservative activist and election denier Joe Oltmann, who has been ordered to pay a former Dominion voting systems employee $1,000 a day until he can actually provide evidence for the defamatory claims that he's been making against Dominion and this particular employee. Of course, he's a 2020 election denier. He claims that the 2020 election was rigged by the company's voting machines.
Hey, don't scroll away. Come back. Because before the video continues, we just want to urge you to lend your support to TYT. You power our honest reporting. You do it at tyt.com/team, and we love you for it.
Now, before we get to that order to pay $1,000 a day and how that came about, let's get to the basics. Let's give you some context. First, a little bit about Joe. He's a businessman and a conservative activist who gained national prominence as a far-right election denier. He claimed that he had personal knowledge that the 2020 presidential election was rigged. According to local news station KNUS, in November of 2020, he claimed to have heard an Antifa conference call where an employee of the Denver-based Dominion voting systems suggested the election was rigged in favor of Joe Biden. So that was his big get. That's what he's alleging here. He said back in November, "I think this is a conspiracy to commit fraud against the American people. This is a massive putting your finger on the scales of the election." He's also a podcaster who repeatedly advocated for political violence. He was also incredibly extreme in some of the stuff he had to say. So extreme, in fact, that even his co-host couldn't get on board with what he was saying.
I don't want to hang anybody as a liberal. I want to hang anyone as a traitor. That's who I want to hang. You still could find enough traitors in this nation to stand together on the radical left that you could probably build a gallow from New York City or from Washington, D.C. all the way to California. You probably could do that. Simultaneous, like dominoes, right? Just
one chair kicks the next one over.
Yeah, one chair knocks the other one over. And we just have a line of executions of traitors to the United States of America. Look, if you guys don't think that's funny, I think it's kind of funny, actually.
Yeah, it makes me incredibly nervous.
So that's who we're dealing with here. And because he spread lies about the 2020 election, he was named in a defamation suit by Eric Coomer, the former director of product security and strategy for Dominion Voting Systems. Now, Oltmann, that's the conservative activist that you just heard from, was subpoenaed in Denver District Court. But unsurprisingly, he failed to provide any evidence, any proof to back up his accusation that the Dominion employee admitted that Dominion Voting Systems was rigging the election in favor of Joe Biden. Oltmann has repeatedly refused to submit evidence to the court, specifically communications with the person only known as RD, who he claims gave him access to the Antifa call and the identity of the person who gave him access to Coomer's private Facebook account. According to court documents, he left the courthouse during his deposition, and now he is paying for it. The judge in the case ordered that he has to pay the attorney's fees and costs that Coomer incurred as a result of Oltmann's non-compliance with the judge's orders to present evidence. He also has to pay Coomer $1,000 a day from Wednesday of this week until he complies with the order fully and in good faith. This is an increase from a prior suggested fine of $300 a day, which the court decided will not likely get him full and complete attention, or his complete attention. And the court also said that Oltmann not only ignored court orders, but he boasted about it on his podcast. There seems to be a trend of like boasting about criminality on podcasts lately. It's weird. So Oltmann explicitly acknowledged during his deposition and his podcast later that day that he knew about the order but refused to comply with them, even though he was aware he might be jailed for his non-compliance. And he allegedly called the orders lawfare and weaponized.
Yeah, of course.
So it's amazing.
Yeah, because the fish rots from the head down. Everything he's been charged with is something that Donald Trump did. He's copying. So, they cheated. I won the election. Now all of a sudden, by the way, Donald Trump admitting that he lost the election. Neo-Nazi supporter Nick Fuentes is livid with him about that. saying he sold out. He sold himself out? No, he realized, oh, the lie is now hurting me politically. Before it was helping me to lie about that, now I'm not lying about it anymore. But why did all of his supporters lie about it? But most of the supporters didn't even know they were lying. They had no idea. They thought that Donald Trump was telling the truth. By the way, how do you guys feel now that he admits that he did lose the election? So this guy then does all the things that Trump does, boasting publicly about criminality. That's Trump 101. And then when the law comes for you, you go, oh, lawfare, Trump 101. You go into court. Okay, brother, if you were right that the election was stolen, great. And he's saying, the judge isn't saying, I hate you for saying it. No, the judge is saying, please give me the evidence. I won't fine you at all anymore if you give the evidence of what this guy did wrong. Oh, right, you don't have any evidence. The fish rots from the head down. Donald Trump, 61 times they went to court, never had any evidence of significant fraud that would affect the election because they're liars. I don't know when it's gonna get through the right wing. I think what Dominion has done here is awesome. They're like, if you're gonna lie about us in a way that gets half the country to believe you're ludicrous, ridiculous lies about how we worked with a dead Hugo Chavez and a bunch of mules and krakens to steal the election, we're gonna come for you because there actually are laws about that. You can't just publicly broadcast outrageous lies. And in this case, it's an individual that's holding him accountable. I love it. And then the talk of hanging people all across the country. And what did they do on January 6th? They brought gallows and they chanted, hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence. And when Mark Meadows, the chief of staff of Donald Trump, told him about that, Trump said that he thought that Pence deserved it. So when your political leader / messiah thinks his own vice president should have been hung for not agreeing to break the law as he wanted him to, you're not gonna be surprised to find out that his supporters are all over America going, we should hang them all. By the way, these guys believe that they think that they believe in America and freedom and all these things. No, you don't. Imagine if a left-winger said, oh my God, if we get into office, we should find all the right-wing traitors and hang them. They'd be like, oh my God, the Stalinist, communist, Marxists are gonna hang us all. They hate freedom and democracy. Well, you just said it about the left. So look, this stuff is supernova toxic. So if you have evidence, that's why we made the court system, bring it. If you don't, go into court and say, well, of course I'm a giant liar, and I was lying the whole time to try to trick other right-wingers like Donald Trump did. I was just following my demigod, Donald Trump. So I lied to everybody on his behalf. Be honest for the first time in your life. No, you'll probably go, oh, I have secret evidence. And if oh man, I can't show it to you, but I have secret evidence. And my secret evidence is so strong that if we get back in charge, we're gonna murder all of you. Oh, it sounds really good. Yeah, you sound like you're really in favor of freedom.
Yeah, it's crazy. I love how much they damage their own lives, like destroy their own lives because of their ideology. Unwilling to ever be tethered to reality or the truth because it's all about their guy or their party and anything else, anything that might go against their preconceived notions, any facts that might go against their preconceived notions must be rejected at any and all costs, including cost to himself. It's amazing.
Yeah, last thing on it, Anna. The Newsmax host today, another dumbass Trump supporter comes on there, lies about the election, and he flips out, he panics. Now he's deeply right wing, etc. Newsmax lied about the election in the beginning, etc. But then they got slapped with a lawsuit. Look, guys, the whole thing with the lawfare, if it's a lawsuit, look, I get it's if it's a wrong lawsuit, it's still a lot of expense, etc. But you're gonna win it in the end, so you don't need to panic, right? But no, Fox paid over $800 million because they knew they were wrong. They knew they were lying about the stolen election. And Newsmax is panicking because they knew they were lying about the stolen election. That's why all of a sudden they're like, shh, we're not telling that lie anymore. It turns out we got caught and we have no evidence at all. So right wing, what is it gonna take for you to realize when Fox News, Newsmax, and every court in the country, including conservative justices and judges, and Trump-appointed judges all say you have no evidence. It's a giant lie, and now even Trump is beginning to admit the lie. Is it ever gonna get through your head that maybe, just maybe, your demigod's actually a con man, pathological liar who created fake charities, fake universities, And by the way, original fake news during the 2016 elections, when they would print out literal fake news articles and put them on Facebook. It never occurred to you that maybe he's the one that's lying? Good luck to you in life, man, if you're that much of a sucker. Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members, because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate media. And all of that is because of you guys. Hit the join button below and become one of us. Become a young Turk.